Right, Growthpoint emerged from the Investec stable and owns and manages properties in South Africa, Australia, including the V&A Waterfront in Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah, so the V&A Waterfront is their largest property within the portfolio, but really this is an A-grade spread, and as Bronwyn says, they've got Growthpoint Australia. Norbert Sassa's really taken this thing through to the next level. They've done lots of infill acquisitions. Remember, they acquired AccuCap and SciComm as well. So really they are now the sort of alpha leader, the biggest player of all in the Aussie 40. Definitely, market trend breaking company in this space.
It has a market cap of 62.2 billion rand and trades on a yield of 5.7%.
I think those yields, just to clarify, are sort of historic. I'm not sure.
Historic dividend yield, yes.
Let's talk about Growthpoint.
There's the key. Now, I don't want to pick out on Growthpoint. You can buy a government bond and get a 9.5% yield today with relatively little risk. Or you can buy one of the listed properties and get a 5.5% yield today. Now that yield, that distribution does grow. But last year it only grew by 7-8%. It didn't grow.
They said it's only going to grow by a similar amount this year.
Single digit as well. So when you buy the property versus the government bond, you immediately 3% per year behind on yield. That yield has got to grow a lot to catch up, and that's why I still think they are expensive. Now, of course, Growthpoint's got a wonderful asset in Australia, and it's benefited from the weak rand, but Australia is also a commodity-related country like South Africa. And I mean, I know Growthpoint Australia well. We've actually invested in Growthpoint Australia. They've got fantastic properties. So it's not a comment on their property portfolio or the management of their property portfolio. It's simply the yield just looks too low to me.
Well, listening to what Wayne is saying, I wouldn't go anywhere near the property stocks. But you seem to have a different view.
If I was a big credit investor at a mega US-based asset manager, and I was looking around the world at whatever opportunities I could find in property, and I wouldn't buy in Brazil, I wouldn't buy in Venezuela or Indonesia or Singapore or Russia for that matter. I would go to South Africa, because what have you got there? You've got liquidity in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange listings. You've got excellent corporate governance, excellent accounting, and an excellent management team that's got a great track record. It's got a 100 billion rand portfolio with a 4%, what do you call it?
Still
not occupancy,
from
vacancies.
A broader macro perspective, there's still concerns about policy stability in South Africa, which is the risk-off scenario.
Personally, I think the long bond yield is coming down, which will take pressure off the listed property share prices.
And close that gap.
And it could close that gap to a large extent, but I would still sit back and wait a little bit. In November last year, they were incredibly expensive. The prices have come off. We'll look at the price charts now of all of them, except for one, but the price charts are off.
Let's look at Growthpoint's.
Point.
There we go.
Yeah, so still doing well. Remember back in the old days, 2011, 2012, we still had a sense that, inflation had been hammered and so on and so forth. So the real trouble starts to come the end of 2014. Commodity prices start going off the boil, the rand starts behaving strangely, and then we start to get imported inflation and all of that, and that's where we are now. So they haven't really done much for people, I must say, in recent times.
Do you own these stocks? Why are you so enthusiastic about the property
No,
story?
we don't. And we have very little exposure either in long portfolios. We've held it before in the hot stocks portfolio, but only for a few weeks here or there. Never really with any significant conviction.
Anything else you want to add on Growthpoint? Solid management team you've got to have, but hand it to Norbert Sassa.
It's just a question of the price.
Hot or not?
Not.
Hot or not, Paul?
No, I'm going to go not hot now. I think this is unfortunately...
You're confusing the hell out of me.
No, I'm
it
just trying
sounded
to
as though you were
make
going to
things
go hot.
interesting. My job here is to try and make things interesting. That's actually what I do.
Right, not hot. Not hot from both of them.